It's Pleasant from the Pop Off Show. I'm live. What's up? I'm out here in Puerto Rico. Oh, this is my beautiful view. Hello, everybody. Welcome, welcome. Come into the Pop Off Show. I'm in here today. I just decided to go live because I'm out here. And I'm reading Jean's book. This is the first one. Yeah, this is the first one. And I'm reading it, and I'm out here enjoying this nice breeze, this beautiful view, and this dope ass book. If you don't have it, this is the first one. And this is Jean Dill's My World of BodyGuarding a Hip Hop Star, The Last Big Night. So come on in. I'm going to read chapter 14. And chapter 14 is called I Can't Breathe. So, and if you know, you know. What's up, Kenny? Thank you. Thank you. I try to look good. I'm on vacation. And I got the good book. Did you go and cop the book? Tell a friend to come on in. What's up? We popping off today. We popping off about this book right here. If you don't have it, go out and go get it. His birthday is coming up. Yeah, we got Jean's birthday coming up. What's up to the 5 people that's in here? Come on. You got it? All right. So then you know about chapter 14 then, Kenny. It's called I Can't Breathe. Basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to read the chapter, and I'm going to basically be letting everybody know what's going on as far as where we was, what we was doing, basically behind the scenes. So I'm out here in Puerto Rico enjoying the beautiful weather. Where you guys at? Come on in. We gonna read this good old book right here. This is my my read while I'm out here on vacation. It's always good to have a good book. Shout out Baltimore. All right. Hey, what's going on, Sean? Come on, tell a friend to come in. We popping off. We gonna pop off about this book right here. I want to pop off about chapter 14. It's called I Can't Breathe. What up, HB? What up, honey? How you doing, honey butter? Look at the view, mama. Ah, nice. I'm live. I'm just popping off about this book. You know, it's 2 books out. I'm rereading the first one. And I'm up to chapter 14. And basically, chapter 14 is basically about City College. If you guys was outside in the 90s, this was like 91. So if you was outside in the 90s, then you know. So, you know what happened if you was in the 5 boroughs. Even if you was out of town, because mad people came in from D.C., Virginia, and all of that. Yes, yes, yes. Both of them are good. Yes, both of them are fantastic books. I can't wait till he does his other book. What's going on? Shout out to everybody that went and copped the book, that know about the book. I'm reading it. This is my second time, because you know sometimes, not like the first time, not like the first time, not like the first time, talking about the second time. The second time you read things, you like reread it and you miss things the first time. So I'm rereading it on this beautiful island with this nice view, this nice breeze. Shout out to everybody that's in right now. Double tap the screen. All right, double tap it. Give me some love. I'm going live right now, and I'm going to read chapter 14. This is where I like to start at. So if you remember, if you don't have the book, or if you read the book, chapter 14 to discuss City College in 1991. Let me set the atmosphere for you. Basically, if you was in Harlem, you already knew where it was going to be at. It was already broadcast on a whole bunch of shows and stuff like that, on radio, letting you know that it's going down. All of the celebrities was going to be there. That was the ticket, the hot ticket. My crew, the people that I hang out with, from 112th and 8th Avenue, they did security. So because they was doing security, this made it even bigger for us to be there, because not for nothing, we was already going, me and my homegirls. But being as though that her brother, who was Slick in the book, if you know about Boondang, he mentions Boondang, is Slick, you know that we was covered. So we was going anyway, but like I said, this made it even extra like popping, because our boys was gonna be there, and you know, we was straight. So anyway, if you haven't copped the book, make sure you go cop it, 1 and 2. It's, like I said, a good read. Hey y'all, what's going on? Thanks for coming in. I appreciate all 10 of you that's in here. Yes, give me them thumbs up. I'm starting out, you guys. We got the big man's birthday coming up, y'all. Y'all got to make sure y'all send him birthday shout outs and everything like that. Libra's in the house. My sister's birthday is tomorrow. Shout out to you, Pam. Happy birthday, baby. Yes, stand up for you. Now, I'm not going to stand up. You see what I look like sitting down. So just imagine. Anyway, I'm going to read chapter 14. And it's called I Can't Breathe. So if you don't know, now you know. Happy birthday, Pam. Thank you for shouting my sister out. So it says, we got the call to do City College celebrity basketball game. Heavy D, one of the hottest in the rap game, was throwing a party in Sugar Hill. It was going to be monumental, an event that my crew was excited to be a part of. We would be responsible for crowd control outside. I met with Puff about a week before the event. I knew City College in the area very well. I was living up on 148th in Amsterdam. I played in the City College Pro-Am Basketball League. Stars like Mario Ealy, Mark Jackson, Anthony Mason, and Troy Burrows and Marcus Gathers also played. Being a member of the Courtman Pro-Am team gave me a lot of attention to play overseas. But at this time, I was making so much money doing events and security that $65,000 that was offered was peanuts. Now I have a family, friends, money, cars, jewelry, everything I thought a man needed to succeed in life. Oh boy, was I naive. Yo, that's crazy. So, to get that and be in the fish and chip place at the time when they walked in and they was like, yo, we got the City College. It was like, oh, wow. Oh, we dope. We really gonna go in there and act up now because they are security. All right, getting back to the book. If you ain't go cop it, y'all. This is chapter 14. I Can't Breathe, City College. 1991 event with Heavy D and Puff and all of them. Everything in my life, from my cash flow to love, was on and popping. You never think a few hours could change your whole perspective about what is important in life. I experienced the glitz and glamour to one of the darkest days in my life. Uptown Harlem was booming, and it seemed like everybody was getting money. Uptown Records' top artists, Heavy D and Puff, were going to be at City College with many other celebrities. Everyone and their mama was going to be there. Forget about Showtime at the Apollo. Today it would be Showtime at City College. The industry was out and in full effect on December 30th, 1991. Okay, to set up the scene, you got Red Alert, DJ Red Alert, talking about it. You got all of the celebrities that's going to be there. You had anybody that was popping back then. You had them that was going to be, if they wasn't going to be playing, they were going to be just there. And back then, that was like really popular for like WBLS to play against like either a school or something like that, or play against another organization or something like that. So this was really, really big. They were going to be playing, like the celebrities were going to be playing. So like I said, everybody and their mama was coming out to this. So if you was back in the 90s and you was outside, you know what I'm talking about. If you wasn't outside, just please and just listen. Hello to everybody that's out there. Yeah, double click the screen and share. Yeah, make sure you share it. Thank you. Oh, okay, all my 9 people. All right, so getting back, many from the streets of Harlem were already lined up waiting outside for the doors to open. Our team was an hour and a half early, and we were getting paid to be there. We all had 8 guys with us ready to do security. Puff cut the security by more than half of what he initially asked for. He asked for 18 guys first. And later that night before the event, he told us to only bring 8. I started to tell him, fuck it, fine, I'm not coming. Slick said, we will take the small amount of money we would receive from the event and buy champagne. Yeah, that's just like Slick. Total Libra. I agreed and told Puff we'll be there. As I walked up to the front where all the people were gathering around, I saw who actually beat us out for the job. It was the FOI, the Fruit of Islam, was doing the security and on the outside and securing the front door. All right now, hello everybody, shout out. Yes, I'm reading the book. I'm on vacation and I decided to read the book again because you got to remember, you know, reading it twice, you find some nicer things. And this just took me back, this chapter, so that's why I'm so invested in chapter 14. So I remember meeting the head of security at the time. He went by Brother Anthony. I was a little upset that these guys had the job my team usually does. I saw a group of guys marching across the street. As I think back, one can compare it to Malcolm X's movie. Remember when the FOI was showing their power? They would learn that fanatic fans and hood-rich crews didn't have much respect for the words Assalamu Alaikum. They were still digesting the ham and bacon, not trying to be funny. Like my pops would say, them niggas is eating the pig from the rooter to the tutor. If it didn't smell like bacon, they couldn't care less what Brother Anthony and the FOIs were saying that night. As soon as I arrived and saw the outside and how nothing was set up to prevent the crowd from storming in the door, I ran into Puff. I told him the front door and the area wasn't secure enough to stop or prevent the stampede. I told him if they didn't get barricades to secure the front, someone was going to die. He said, Gene, let them handle the door. You just worry about the stars once they get in the gym. Yeah, I Puff, I respond. I had already designed my security plan outside. I called it a box and one. Using the steel barricades that the police used, I was going to box off the front to keep the crowd at least 10 yards from the entrance. Then have one line for ticket holders and an opening at the other end for celebrities. This worked like a charm. I also had my guys with me who kept the crowd from pushing their way past the designated areas. Dougie Fresh and DJ Red Alert had started up their mics. The music was pumping. You could hear the walls jumping. The echoes from the bass made it seem like the windows was about to burst. Houdini's The Freaks Come Out at Night was playing. I realized that the FOI brothers needed to be more stern to keep things in order. The greetings of brothers and sisters to those entering the buildings didn't establish an order. The Fruit of Islam security team should have known something wasn't working. It had all to do with being polite and trying to treat people like human beings. I'm ashamed to say, you can't find a human in a fanatic fan. They'll do anything to get inside a venue or close to one of the stars that they fantasize over. I would literally have to almost break someone's arm from them to release their grip if they got that close. The Nation of Islam should have known that the people was not looking for any bean pies or their newspaper, The Final Call. Shout out to everybody that came in. Thanks for the 16 people. As you guys can see, I'm on vacation. I'm out in San Juan. This is my view. And I'm reading Gene's book yet again because, like I said, the second time is the better time. Thank you so much, you guys. Now getting back to the story. All the religious doctrines shouldn't have stayed on the shelf. They weren't reading anything, seeing anything, or hearing anything that anyone had to say. FOI security constantly said, my brother, my sister, my brother, my sister. In all due honesty, brothers and sisters wouldn't be in my crew's vocabulary. It would have been so vulgar that we would have needed to take Holy Communion after the job. It's a shame that some crowds have to be handled like that. meet fire with fire, then bring the sprinklers to get things under control. You could tell that all the marching across the street and all of the politeness in the world wasn't going to handle this crowd. While seeing the rap sensation Nice and Smooth set it off, there were plenty of rap groups and celebrities trying to get through the crowd. Picture the New England Patriots quarterback, Tom Brady, trying to run through 1,000 linebackers like Lawrence Taylor. You can't run through a brick wall. Nice and Smooth made it through the crowd with their 6'4" brolic bodyguard. As people were squeezing through, money was being taken by Puff and Jessica Rosenberg. They were located right before you went down those steps leading into the gym. The glass partition separated the crowd from the entrance, where you were paid the fee. Puff and Jessica collected all the prepaid tickets. Due to the large crowd, Puff and Jessica became so overwhelmed that Tone Wop from the same gang began helping them. It was so diabolical from the start. People were overcrowding the glass doors, and the outside doors had become compromised. In layman's term, them niggas broke through the doors. The FOIs had left their posts, and the police were outside but failed to take over crowd control, which that was like a horrible mistake for the precincts. They just sat there and watched, which was crazy. The campus security never knew what hit them, so when Mike Tyson and Ladies Love Cool James, aka LL Cool J, showed up at City College, nothing was stopping the smallest women from getting into that venue. I checked inside the gym and came back upstairs, and there I saw a small petite woman pointing at her stomach, gesturing to make sure aware that she was pregnant. No one would let her move up to allow her to get out the glass partitioners. People were becoming trapped, and it was chaos. I started moving and directing people to get out the way, but it was Tone Wop who was able to squeeze through the crowd, grabbed her hand, and got her out of the glass trap. You couldn't pack enough sardines in a can to look like this. I'm glad there weren't camera phones then, because the pictures in my mind are still traumatized. Oh, he's still traumatized by them. Oh, gosh. It's still traumatizing to this day. Thinking back on this day is painful and equal to a soldier in battle. I am certain that I will never forget this day. It replays in my mind over and over again. In a split second after Tone Wop got the girl outside the building, the whole glass partition shattered. Pandemonium had occurred. People were running everywhere looking for directions and to find the celebrities. That had to be crazy. Shout out to everybody that just came in. Thank you so much for the 16 people that's in here. I am on vacation in San Juan, and I got my homeboy's book. I mean, I read it already, but I'm going to read it again because, you know, sometimes when you read the book again, you see some things that you kind of forget. Well, for me, it was this chapter right here, which is chapter 14, and it's called I Can't Breathe. I was there at City College when that happened, so, and I was also there when Gene and Slick and the family, when they got the job. So just behind the scenes of knowing how everything went down and how it was, and also at the time I was outside. It was so crazy because I was waiting for Ed. We was waiting for Ed to come and pick us up. Ed was supposed to come to the door and come pick us up and bring us in. You know what I'm saying? And he was going to bring us in where the celebrities was coming in because at the end of the day, they was doing security. So that was like the dope thing of being a part of Slick and the family with Gene and all of them back in the days, Big Buns and all of them. Shout out to all of my big brothers. Shout out to y'all. Being around them, you were always getting into something or like parties and stuff like that. So that was the cool thing. All right, so getting back here, I'm going to go and finish with I saw Tone Wop still consoling the pregnant girl, pointing her in the direction to go out the back door. I saw Jessica along with Eddie run down the stairs towards the gym. Eddie was one of my guys that I asked to protect Jessica. We only had 3 radios at the time. Eddie had one, Slick had the other, and yours truly was on the channel too. Slick would always stay with the team. I usually did the roaming back and forth to make sure everybody was in position. Everyone was there where they were supposed to be. I had guys in the gym upstairs protecting the money with Jessica and Puff. Dougie Fresh and DJ Red Alert must have lost their minds. They started spinning and scratching. They're playing basketball. We love that basketball. The hit song by Curtis Blow. That was the theme song for all Kingdom and the Rucker basketball tournaments. Word up, if you know, you know. That was dope. And if you was there that night that Curtis Blow performed it at the Ruckers, shout out to y'all, because that shit was dope. What up, everybody that's in here? Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend. Shout out to all the 14 people that's here. Make sure you like and subscribe. Like I said, I'm on vacation. I'm in San Juan. And I'm reading Gene's book. If you know, you know. This is the second time reading it. He has 2 books out. And I'm reading chapter 14. It's close to my heart. I was there tonight. And also, the pregnant girl that I'm discussing, I know her as well. Her and her family. Her name is Tisha. And that's my god brother's cousin. Which that was like a whole messed up situation in itself. But shout out to everybody that that lost a loved one. Like, I'm sending hugs and kisses through the book. Let's go back. So now we're at with DJ Red Alert. Okay, so even the NBA and some college teams enjoyed hearing the ghetto anthem. Our job was getting done, but the fans outside couldn't care less about any security. After being held hostage to hearing, I'll have some bacon and ham from Brother Anthony and the FOI, enough was enough. The crowd began to stampede through the doors, past the broken glass partitions. Everyone was looking for ways to get into the gymnasium. Jessica was at the edge of the steps. I could see her. I could see the fear in her eyes. She grabbed the money box and the money that Tone Wop had in his hand. She then ran down the steps. Eddie stood there pushing people back, and then he ran behind Jessica. We stood at the top of the stairway, trying to push the people back so they wouldn't into the gymnasium. The crowd soon consumed the hallway, and the stairway was flooded. Just that quickly, we could not stop the people from running down the stairway. The fans were trying to get into the gym. The worst was yet to come because there was no way. Stairway to heaven, as the old Jays would sing. The doors to the gym had been closed. Jessica saw the stampede light crowd come in, and when she ran down the steps, she closed the only door that allowed people to get into the gym. Eddie ran behind Jessica because he was her bodyguard. She even closed the door, preventing him from entering the gym. Eddie was trapped, just like hundreds of other people, now squeezing each other in the stairway. Nobody was moving forward, and people refused to move backwards. They had their minds set on getting into the gym, and that's all that mattered. This was like the running of the bulls in Spain. Now, this was no Spain fiesta, just a bunch of fanatic fans not knowing the closest stars they'll see tonight would be in heaven. I could hear my walkie-talkie buzzing. Eddie and Slick were the only 2 people that I was connected to. I was sure Eddie was in the gymnasium with Jessica. I was sure Eddie was going to tell me he was okay. But what I heard was, "Oh, I can't breathe, and I'm trapped down here. I can't breathe." There was no way I was going to make it through the crowd to help my friend. There was only one thing I could do. I'm glad I did a walk around to find out every entrance, every exit, and the way to get in and out of the gym for emergency purposes. Without hesitation, I ran down the corridor to the other side of the gym, ran across the basketball court, and opened one door. That's so crazy because, like, hanging out with Gene, that's what he do, yo. It's crazy. It's bugged out. I didn't understand it back then, you know, because like I said, back in 91, I was like 23 years old. Fast forward to now, I look at it, and then after Kevin Costner with The Bodyguard, I get it. Thank you, friend. Continuing. The door from the gymnasium only pushed inward to gain entry. I pushed door after door after door after door, and people fell on the floor after each door was open. People were stepping over people and taking their last steps until they fell into their death. I was looking for Eddie. It was my first concern. I had to find Eddie and make sure he was all right. Eddie had leaned against the wall, holding himself up till he caught his breath. When I saw him, I felt relieved. I saw people standing over people, pushing their chests, telling their loved ones, their friends, their family members, breathe, breathe, breathe. I used to think one of the earliest things to do in life was to breathe. I learned that night that a person could be squeezed to death and that the wind could be knocked out of you. These kids, my God, they literally were squeezed to death. I'm hoping the CPR learned from the Salvation Army on Boy Scout Day in Wellston would be put to good use. I never thought I would be using it on people in Harlem. It was nothing I had ever seen in my life, and I couldn't believe what was happening. Still, today, 3 people out of the 9 that died that night still gives me nightmares. That had to be crazy, like, because just to be seeing people running to the ambulance that night was like crazy. Like, it was so much mayhem going on. I could just imagine down the stairs what they saw. Nightmares out of fear, but out of mental anguish, just thinking how they must have suffered. I think about Nice and Smooth and their bodyguard. He was trying to maneuver them safely through the crowd. I remember telling him to hold up because the crowd was unruly. He said, I got them. So he gave up his life that night. He was about 6 feet, 4 inches tall, 260 or better. I learned that night, size don't matter. It can happen to anybody. I looked over to my left, and on the floor was the pregnant young lady. We had helped get out the glass partition. She was motionless. Was the baby still alive? Both of their lives were gone. How and why did she go down those steps? We helped her once, but we couldn't help her this time. Her getting out the first situation was a charm. She should have taken the luck and blessing. Please understand, there may not be a second chance in life. Nothing in this world is guaranteed. I heard a voice that was so familiar screaming, no, no, no. What am I going to tell my mama? What am I going to tell my mama? It was my friend who worked at Manhattan Valley Youth Program with me. Kyle was screaming, this was his first time going anywhere with me. My mom's going to kill me. I had no words. His baby brother was dead. All that rung in my mind was I told this nigga Puff that people was going to die tonight if he didn't correct the perimeter on the front door. This kid didn't make it to his 16th birthday because this nigga didn't want to listen. Currently, I was on the hunt. I was looking for Puff and his brother Anthony, the FOI leader. They were nowhere in sight. I then saw LL Cool J and Mike Tyson walking in the gymnasium. The crowd in the bleachers didn't seem to care about the people spread on the floor. When LL started, he stepped over people's bodies. I was livid. And just like Puff, this nigga needed his bells rocked. I saw Mike Tyson look in, and he walked the other way. I couldn't believe these so-called celebrities were still on the court doing their layup drills as if they weren't about to start, as if they were about to start the basketball game. Something had to be wrong with Red Alert and Dougie Fresh. They were still playing music like we were in the nightclub. I had began to walk towards the DJ booth. I was so mad that every step I took hurt my chest as if I was trapped in the stairwell. I couldn't believe all these people who were lifeless. All the screams, all the hollers, all the tears were drowned out by the music. The music could not replace the reality that 9 people were on the floor dead. I reached the DJ standing where they were playing the music, and the first thing I said was, what the fuck is wrong with you guys? I knew Red Alert personally from the block. He used to walk to 112th Street and 7th Avenue to the corner store. He was living in the building between 113th and 114th Street. Red Alert knew me well. I was with Slick almost every day. He understood if I was with Slick, I was no one to be played with. Dougie Fresh would get a quick introduction to my bullshit. I was looking for him to be on some Hollywood shit, but Dougie was very submissive and somewhat compassionate. After my boisterous statement was made, I followed them with about 9 to 8 people over there are dead. Dougie had this look on his face, and it wasn't upbeat and happy like his song, All the Way to Heaven, 7, Heaven, All the Way to Heaven, to get fresh, cool. Hey, what's going on, y'all? Shout out to the 18 people that's here. I love y'all. As y'all see, I'm reading Jean's book while I'm on vacation. I read it already, but I'm reading it again. I'm out here reading to you guys. I'm on live. I love and miss you guys. So I'm out here reading his book. If you haven't got a chance to read it or copy it, go copy it. This is the first book. He has 2 books out, so on Amazon. I'm on vacation, so I decided to read his book yet again. And I'm reading from one of the chapters that I personally like. This chapter 14, City College. If you was outside, you know. Shout out to everybody that's in the chat right now. So getting back to it. Then Red Alert began to turn the music down. The music went off, and he directed all the people in the stands to leave the building from the back entrance. The ambulance, the police, and all of the emergency personnel started pouring into the gymnasium. I was on the hunt. I was no silly rabbit. I was looking for Puff and Jessica. They had completely left the scene. Neither were anywhere to be found. The paramedics had gotten everybody off the floor and rushed all of the people to the hospital. The only celebrity who was left in the building was Heavy D, real name Dwight Arlington Myers, who had stayed around until the very end with us. He had this look on his face that was heavier than his name. He had a lot of respect for Slick. He once came down on the block to squash a beef we had when we did security on the outside of Butt Naked Production Party downtown. There was an incident with TJ, a.k.a. the Green Eye Monster, and a dude from Mount Vernon. He was a part of the Young Guns crew. Yeah, I remember they came down to the fish and chip. Yeah, they had a whole little discussion. It's crazy. The 90s. TJ was one of the dudes in our crew who was a licensed electrician. Yes, he always did electrical shit in my house. And was still a street dude. His green eyes and handsome exterior threw guys off as if he was soft. He talked that shit and he had backup to go with it. We were family, and if one goes, we all goes. Word up, 112 8th Avenue, Slick and the family for life. That's right. One pop off, we all pop off. On one occasion, when he and this Young Guns cat became embraced as if they were in the WWF, I ran over and grabbed dude off TJ and shook him up. It wasn't the World Wrestling Federation because dude didn't have a tag team partner with him. He wanted to take it further and talk about how he was going to body me. He threatened me with a gun, but didn't have one. The guys who had guns were killing, not talking. This guy, words of killing me, could have his family members ordering a bouquet of white roses. Shout out to everybody that's here. Thank you for safe travels. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Then this is when I knew Boom Dang, because that's what, if you were close to him, that's what you called him. Boom Dang. If you called him Boom Dang, that means you were really inside the family. AKA Slick was my brother for life. He stepped right in immediately. Gene, leave now. Go upstairs. We had always had this understanding, no matter the circumstances was, if he told me to leave, I was to be out like a scout on the next route. I knew no more than that until Heavy D showed up on the block a few days later. Heavy told Slick, bro, dude was my son's son. I had to explain to him, you spared his life. He had to understand he was like a piece of pork in the lion's teeth. Heavy and Slick had this boss-like understanding. As he laughed, he repeated to Slick, you told the little nigga you wanted him to come around the corner so you can close his drapes. Now, if you know Slick, then you know. Funny nigga. They chuckled and embraced, and we were family after that. I remember in the gymnasium at City College, Heavy D's head stayed in his lap. He shook his head and said, what happened? At this time, I was so emotionally charged. I jumped out the window saying to Heavy, "Why didn't you want us outside to do the security?" He then looked up as if I had asked him to complete a 1,000-piece jigsaw puzzle. With this look upon his face, he uttered, "Huh?" I let him know that Puff called me last night and told me he was doing what you asked, to change the security from us to the FOI. We had 18 men ready for outside, and he cut it down to 8 guys and told us to work inside the gym. Heavy's head went back down to his lap, and in a whisper, Sunbalone-like tone, he said, "I never told him that." We all left together, and Heavy D headed uptown to Mount Vernon. We went back to our block on 112th and 8th Avenue in Harlem. That night, we tried to joke and laugh to ease the pain of the terror of what we witnessed. At the time, we didn't know this would go down in record books. Sadly, this was considered one of the greatest tragedies in the college history at the time, without one gun shot being fired, and that's so true. Shout out to everybody that's here in the Pop Off Show. I'm on vacation in Puerto Rico, and you know, when you're out and about, you always have a book. I got this book right here, and if you don't know, now you know. This is Jean Dill. This is My World of Bodyguarding, Hip Hop Star, Last Big Night. This is the second book. I mean, this is the first one. He has 2 books out. I bought this with me, so yeah, I'm reading the first one. I read it already. I'm rereading it because, like I said, you know, sometimes when you read a book, like, you go back and there's other things that you see and you miss. Like, so I'm reading from chapter 14, and chapter 14 is called I Can't Breathe. And basically that's about City College. And I was just reminiscing about that whole saga of City College. So getting back to the book. If you didn't cop it, go cop it. This is Miss Pleasant on the Pop Off Show. Thank you for the 22 people that's in here popping off with me, that's listening to this book. This is a good read. If you don't have it, go get it. It's dope. Ask me some questions. The book was good. I read it twice. Right, that's what I'm doing. I'm reading it twice. And didn't the first time that you read it, 12 star, the first time you read it, it was certain things that you missed the second time. Correct? Correct. Okay. If you bodyguard, and if an individual has problems on the street, those problems usually become your problems. Sometimes the problems can be bigger than the pay. All money isn't good money. Having a good security team and probably being one of the best front door men in New York City was important to me. That is true, because let me tell you, Sunday to Sunday, I went to every party that was around, and I never paid. And nor did I stand on the line, because when you had your peoples, you didn't do those things because everybody knew. Oh, she's down with Slick and them. Oh, that's Jean them peoples. And then if you knew what I looked like back in the 90s, it spoke for itself. Okay, so I had traveled around the country doing parties from Vegas to DC. I was aware of all the individuals who traveled to parties. I knew the actors, the music artists, athletes, the hustlers, and entrepreneurs. I always remembered that everyone thinks they're too important to wait in line. I always made it my fault if someone didn't make it into a party. That is true. I used to always call them on the phone like, yo, we going to this, could you please, He would always hook me up. So I never had a problem with getting in, because most of the time, the guys, they knew Gene and they was on their team and they would come through. So thank you, honey butter. Thank you. You're gorgeous too. Shout out to all the 25 people that's in here. I'm in Puerto Rico. I'm on my trip. As you can see, beachfront. Yeah, that's how the rich auntie lives when she travels. And I read a good book. This is the Pop Off Show. I'm just popping off a little bit. So I'm just reading chapter 14. I'm retired. So let me just get back. I'm almost finished this chapter, and then you guys can ask me anything. Shout out to the 27 people that's in here. Thank you very much. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Okay, so going back. Okay, working at the same time. I like that. That could do that. All right. Spiritual gangster, Miss Tanya. Thank you. Yes. Work, girl, work. I always remember that everyone thinks they're too important to wait in line. I always made it my fault if someone didn't make it into the party. There are many stories about doing security for those important individuals and their friends. I was blessed enough to have conversations with them and blessed to witness why they were great. That blessing sometimes comes with a curse. Just as with the crown comes great responsibility, so does another man's secret. Wow, and y'all already know what the secret is. Y'all already know. So, we already know that Diddy's been arrested. We already know about the baby oil. And we already know about the freak-offs. All right, let me just see what's going on. Share the live, please. Okay, I have to share the live. Okay. You guys. Okay. I'm sharing the live. Okay. It's copied. Share the live. Okay. My Sag sister. Yes. You already know. This is the Sag right here. Shout out to everybody that's born in December. Not you, the audience. Oh, okay. Not me. Oh, okay. Haha. Yes. Yes. I'm getting used to this. I'm getting used to this. Can we see your outfit? Yeah, you can. This is my bathing suit. This is my bathing suit. All right. That is the bathing suit. All right. Yes. Can we see your outfit? That, yeah, I showed you guys. Not me. Make sure you guys share. All you 25 people, thank you for coming in. And like I said, it's the pop-off show where we're going to be just talking about everything. I appreciate you guys coming in. Make sure you subscribe. Make sure you tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend. This is me just jumping in here and coming on just to talk about this book and just to read the chapter. Now, like I said, the chapter that I read was chapter 14, and that was talking about City College. And the pregnant girl, just so happened that was my god brother's cousin. So unfortunately, that like kind of hit home, and it was like kind of messed up. And then it was really, really sad when we found out that she was pregnant. Because mind you, when all of that's going on, we're outside waiting for Ed. We didn't even know what was going on inside. Me and my homegirls was waiting for Ed to come to get us. We was waiting for him to come in to get us so he could take us inside so we could go sit down and we could watch the game. You know, because like I told you, it was them that had the, what you call it. But anyway, thank you guys for looking, for coming in. I didn't charge my battery, so I'm about to go dead. I'm going to come back later on and read another chapter. Thank you for tuning in. All 26 of you, make sure you go subscribe and tell a friend to tell a friend. All right. Love you guys.